what I was thinking about?
Oh boy. What were you thinking about?
Because somebody's walking up this way. You can see them.
I don't see anyone.
Duh.
I know.
Yeah, we're getting surrounded because I'm about to talk about stuff. What is with the bugs?
It's summer.
Okay, do you know the battlefield after like Gettysburg, or like if you think of like a movie where a battlefield took place?
Yeah.
And like I don't know, maybe there's like a few officers and they're just kind of standing looking around in like bewilderment at each other, and like there's like smoke and stuff, and it's like
After the fight.
hazy, but it's like dark, somewhat dark out. That's kind of how I see the rapture.
That once it hits, then people are going to be standing there in bewilderment of what just happened. That kind of?
Yeah, but it's like after I see the fireballs hit, it's kind of like, it reminds me kind of like Gettysburg. Like there's like a dark and light affliction of war about to happen. Like it's like the warning sign of like it's go time kind of deal. That's how I see it. Because it is. It's the start of the light and dark war. It's Star Wars. Are you going to join the dark side, or are you going to join the light side? He still sees him. I see him standing down there. But
Is it?
Jesus. That looks like an angel.
I know. I said that on the way up.
I have to flip my camera.
You can't process it.
He knows he sees him down there. He'll give up.
You're not going to talk to me? Okay. Oh, that's so peaceful.
It is. The sunset's kind of different tonight. It's like purpley peach.
You should show them what the sunset looks like.
Let's see. I have to switch the camera. So pretty.
What do you get?
I was driving in my car here and I was thinking about the blue lights that are to come. And I think what basically is going to happen is you're going to have like a lot of people just like kind of driving in their cars or whatever, and they're not going to even know. Like the ones that are still sleeping, they're just not going to know. They're just going to be driving and just not realize it. And then all of a sudden they'll get to work and a bunch of people will be like, oh my God, there's like all these people disappearing. Like everybody's disappearing.
So the ones who aren't awake, or
what becomes scary is like, let's say for example, you have somebody driving a car and they see the light and they get sucked up in.
What happens to
the car? Yeah, it causes an accident. Same thing if like a pilot's driving a plane, the plane's going down. Like it's, yeah.
So the ones who aren't awake won't even see them? Won't even see it?
I think the plan is if they see the light, they won't be in any kind of danger. Like the pilot won't be piloting that day. It'll be kind of like 9/11 is how I kind of see it. I don't think that there's going to be like an intentional of harm done.
Right.
It'll be like,
everything will be
I got sick that day and I didn't go.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Like the people that like weren't meant to be at 9/11, they're like, I woke up sick that day. I didn't even go to work. It was like a miracle I didn't go into work that day. Like it's going to be, I feel like that's what's going to be. And if an accident happens, it happens because it was meant to. But I was thinking about the blue light. Remember how you talked about your dream and the blue light?
Yes.
You're not going to have a choice the more I think about it. Because when the blue light shows up, you're just getting sucked up. There's no choice.
Part of it was...
Yeah. It could be your soul saying that, you know, if I don't go, I end up deciding to stay and help. Because there's going to be some that will do that. I don't know, maybe it's your subconscious saying that you're you want to stay too or something. You know what I mean? You could have been like with your guides, and that dream just kind of created a scene for you to revise what you and your guides were talking about.
Like a camouflage type thing.
No, I would say like, it's kind of like, let's say for example, somebody's telling you a story, but your mind creates your own version of that story.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like
what
that.
you mean. Because the whole time I was watching everybody else go.
Right, but technically what I think was happening was you were actually sitting down with your guides and discussing what's coming and your decision on what will happen. But your physical self created a scene, like as if it was reading a book from a third-party version of it.
Gotcha. So basically it was going over what I was going to do.
And I think that's what most of these dreams are, that people are seeing these blue lights in their dreams because the physical's rendition of what they're going and reviewing with their guides as to what's coming. The physical's kind of like portraying what they went over. Yeah, there's going to be blue lights, but everybody's story is going to be different according to those blue lights based off the physical's reversion of what it assumes was talked about in the meeting. That's how I see it. Well, that's how it is.
That's how
the
it
physical
is.
has to make sense of what the spiritual's doing, because not all the time it doesn't understand. It's like it's like a graduate and a kindergartner are in a room together. And they have to communicate the way they feel is comfortable for themselves.
I just knew everybody I knew was safe, and I was okay with
And
that.
that's probably your guides telling you everybody will be safe.
So it's okay for me to make my decision however I choose.
And that's probably what you were going over with them. Yeah. Why are you eating grass? Because how is that? That's disgusting. How is that good?
All dogs do it.
Hey, wiggle butt.
So
Look at him.
he's been really on edge outside, even more so towards evening.
There's a lot of stuff going on out here. Hey, wiggle butt. What's on your face? What's on your faces? Why you got that on your faces? What'd you get your face into?
Because he was into something he shouldn't have been.
What? Oh, do you see him? Is he standing down there? He say it's okay. He tell you it's okay. He telling you it's okay that he down there. Yet he tell you it's okay. Is he talking to you? He talking to you. I can tell he talking to you. I can tell.
I know. You're stinker butts. I was meditating. That's right. When I was meditating.
This is my
My
journal.
so-called.
Are you ready?
2019.
Dear Jesus.
And mine's dated. So I don't forget the day. Which is good because my first one was July 2019. And it was a meditation.
That's what I put. What is today's date? 7/16. So wait, are you like putting your dreams in there too?
Huh?
Are you putting your dreams in there too?
I don't dream, so I don't need to dream.
Okay, so your dream about the blue lights then was just a figment of your
Well,
imagination.
well, let's rephrase this. I dream next to never, but when I do, they're classic. They're ones to remember.
Yeah, because you're meant to remember them. I think people fixate too much on numbers. And it's not even a fixate on numbers. It's more like they only fixate on the repeating ones. But what I'm noticing is if you just simply see one number and it's just like the first time you're seeing it, you don't see it again. It's just a quick message for that day. That's what I'm noticing. Like the other day I got 67, which was supposed to be actually 76 because it was 76, 67. I just went with the 67 when I technically should have went with the 76.
The first one.
Right. So they were just kind of reinforcing
That
my
number.
world to theirs, because if you technically, you have to go with their world first because our world will reverse it. You see? It'll flip
That
it.
makes sense.
Like a mirror. Yeah. So you always want to go with the first. That's why we always see 34 and then it gets flipped to 43. because it's our world version of their number.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered
Dimensional
that.
flip, yeah. It's like looking into a pond or looking into a mirror.
Everything's reversed.
Mm. Yeah, because technically, we're not forward in time. They're forward in time if they had a time. But anyway, that's going in a whole new topic. But anyway.
I will stay on that
But
topic.
yeah, I should have went with the 76, and I was going with the 67. And that's the first time and the last time I've seen it. I haven't seen it since. So these quick numbers are there to teach you. Like just something for daily. Like if you see a number in the day, quickly look it up. I usually go to sunsigns.com.
Yeah, that's the one
That's
I
the
go
only
to.
one I trust because it's the only one most accurate, because Maria kind of just reinforces what it says.
I like the,
I mean, she alterates the message a little bit, but
yeah, she puts her own twist on it.
but it's the closest formation of what the message is supposed to be.
That's one I always go to when I look them up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sun signs.
Yeah. I can't remember what that message was, but I posted the other day about the 222, and a lot of people are asking me what that is. And the 222, like I said, was a balancing act. It's two paths in a dimensional plane of situation. So you've got two things that you're trying to figure out and balance. So life and work, or home and work, or romance and work, you know what I mean?
Children, work.
Children, work, children and marriage. Oh, what is that? Is that a grasshopper? Oh, he jumped off. He lost. Anyway, so, but the 222, from what I'm gathering, if you're seeing the 222, it's two-dimensional things going on. You've got the earth dimension and you've got heaven dimension. So if you're seeing the 222, that means the rapture's coming and you're part of it. So if you're seeing the repeating 222 or 22 or 2222,
any form of two,
you're part of the rapture. That's what that is. You're being aligned and balanced with the two worlds going on. It is a lot to take in, because I wanted so much more for this world when I came here. I didn't.
You never anticipated this, did you?
Well, I didn't think it was going to go that way. But there's so many. The dark energy is what pushing, and the dark energy controls the media. So if you have something controlling the media, which is something everybody fixates and looks at, then you're pulling in the energy that shouldn't be happening. You're making it come in quicker, actually. And these dark ones are. But, I mean, Trump is the one. I don't think a lot of people understand that Trump is the one outing all the sex traffickers. He's the one behind the scenes taking care of everything.
He's behind everything.
He's behind everything. He's like the puppet master behind everything that is getting taken care of. And he's trying to balance out this world, where the dark ones are trying to pull in certain energies that should not be here.
Shouldn't be here. So he's like in a war of his own.
Yeah, and they've been feeding off children, and he's like, oh, guess what? Your supply just ran out and you're done. And 4 more years will give him enough. I don't even know if we'll make 4 more years, but it'll give him enough time
to finish off what he wants to do.
Right. And I'm hoping it switches to another path, but I don't think so. I'm thinking that, because I'm very unsettled with what's coming, because I see the blue lights, I see the fireballs, and the fireballs are
like shooting stars?
No. Well, yeah, there's stars coming out of the sky, like falling to the earth, which is basically, I guess if you want to think of it, they turn into asteroids, but they're like massively bigger than what a star would be. It almost like comes off like a mini planet. And it almost like, it's like okay, so basically it kind of reminds me of a star dipped in sun and then turned to ash. And as it's coming in, it just takes on this like fiery star sun ball. And people just start screaming. And there's a lot of people leaving this earth right now. They don't want to be part of this. I mean, just today, Bob said one of his coworkers died.
Yes.
Just they found him on the porch, had a heart attack. Yeah, because he knows what's coming. He don't want to be part of this. There's a lot of them. They're just like, yeah, I'm bound out. I don't want to be a part of the war. And then there's some of us that are just like, yeah, let's do this.
We're sucked right into it.
Oh, Oh, and it's just like, why did we? It's just so harsh and hard and heavy, and it's getting heavier.
It is getting heavier.
It's getting heavier, and there's more people playing like this woe is me baby mentality when you can't. You gotta man up. Like, it's time to grab your bow and arrow, grab your sword, because dark is, it's making you into a baby because it knows you're not going to fight back. And you gotta stop drinking the Kool-Aid. It's done. I want to go back to the topic of the crystals coming alive. It just hit me. Like, I was just thinking about it.
Since they're already...
Like, they're alive, but I think what I'm getting is, do you remember that, excuse me, do you remember that worm that when you squeezed it, it lit up at night? It's like a kid's, yeah.
Yeah, my kids have them.
That's kind of what I keep
like
seeing.
Like a glowworm. They light up.
No, better yet. Did you ever watch Avatar?
No.
Okay, so I got a lot of talking around me. Anyway, so I just heard a female go, I so love that toy. Like, okay, calm down. Anyway, so better yet, okay, Avatar, in the movie Avatar, we should watch that when we go back, by the way, to your house. Avatar, in the movie Avatar, there's, it's almost like there's this big tree, and they're walking, him and the other Avatar, the blue Avatar, they're walking, and as they're walking, she like touches some of the plants and they light up. It kind of reminds me of that glowworm. When you touch it, it like lights up. That's what I see the crystals doing. Like, they're not, after the rapture happens, like, I see them just like laying around, and then somebody that's awakened kind of passes and touches it, and it lights up like that plant or that glowworm, and they can see it. So now they're becoming awake, because now it's a dimensional plane kind of like releasing itself. It's almost like the blind came up and now you're starting to see. And the awakened ones are going to see the Antichrist as a beast, and they're going to have a hard time containing themselves being around him, because they're awake and they see his form.
Right.
And his minions, who have the dark ones that are here, that are in the human costume.
Who said that?
Well, no, they'll see them. They'll see the minions, or the dark ones that have been trying to control Earth this whole time. I mean, God basically gave this Earth to them, because he said, fine, you want to see how faithful my people are? Have at it. And each soul that comes here knows it's like a battle. It's like coming back from war when you go back to heaven, because if you made it through, you just kicked your score up a notch. Like, you know what I mean? Because who the hell would come to a world that has demons in it? Like, I mean, seriously, you'd have to be stupid. Yeah. But like, they really wanted to, I think souls just really wanted to test themselves. They really wanted to say to themselves, you know what, if I want to test my love and my faith in something, this is probably the place to shake that and shake it up and see how well I handle it. Even to the point of having a disease. And the point of having disease is to kind of bring loved ones together, and people that you never thought were going to be there for you all of a sudden start coming out of the woodwork, and they're there for you. They love you, and they're trying to show it through the light and love energy that pushes through this earth.
I never thought of it that way.
But these dark ones, I mean, they're still trying to take children. I mean, they just took an Amish child the other day.
Yeah, they're not going to give up easily.
No. And Trump's going to keep fighting, and he needs another couple years to do it. Now, I'm unsure of the date of when the rapture will happen. I have a mindset of what the date could be, but I'm not ready to say or talk about it. But all I can say is it's very soon. People have got to start getting their souls prepared and ready. And it's not about sages, it's not about candles, it's not about malas and rosaries. It's preparing your soul, putting an armor on and getting ready. Because you're going to fight off a lot of darks. And when I mean that, I mean people that come and attack you. I mean, you literally can see the demon working right through them. I just actually had an email the other day that one of the team members presented to me and said, it said something along the lines of, I literally saw a demon yelling at me through the human body. Like, it was a demon in that body. You could tell. It was just flat out right in front of your face. I actually had a priest tell me that. He said he went into the office of one of the head priests or the head fathers or whatever. It was a couple years back, but he said he went in to like let the father know of a case they were working on or something, and that father like was swearing, yelling, throwing things, and then all of a sudden he sat down in his chair and was like, hey, when'd you get here? Just had no idea what was going on. The demon just jumped. And these are souls that are weak and don't know how to, again, put their armor on, protect themselves. So they just allow these things to work them like puppets. Like, you get drunk, you're leaving and you're letting something in there to control and that's why half the time you wake up and you're like, what did I do? Because you weren't technically there.
Because you weren't there.
You just opened yourself up for something to jump in. You're like a little sock puppet. Nobody wants that, trust me. So, I don't know. I got off topic, but going back to the crystals, like, that's what I see happening. Like, they're already alive. I just think that they already glow, and they already have an essence to them. It's just you'll start to see their real formation once the blind is up.
Right.
And you're like...
their true form will come through.
Whoa, I did not see... Like, and there's going to be other things, like, okay, for example, there's ships on your land. Mine's down there. When this happens and the veil comes up, you're going to see like ships that have been here this whole time that have like mirages on them, like cloaking devices. Yeah, basically, like I can see it, but you can't see it.
Right.
Like I could see it, right? But
yours or someone else?
Mine. Yeah. I mean, I see the other ones, but mine's like right there. So, which is why I come up here all the time. I get a lot of energy off it. There's a lot of energy up here. But, which is why a lot of people were seeing stuff behind me on the last video. There's a lot of alien and galactic energy up here. And the closer it gets to dark, the more we're going to start seeing more. Yeah. I don't want to be up here too long in the dark, because where you have high voltage energy like this, you can also pull in other things that shouldn't be here. But it's pretty protected. You have a lot of angels on the land.
Protecting them too.
Yeah, like there's one over between those two trees. Do you see that big bushy tree right there? Yeah. And then the one that kind of goes like that. Yeah. It's right between where that red blinky light is. That's where he's like he's like off to the left of that. Okay. He's like over that way.
Is he there all the time? Or just
I mean, they reposition. It's like the Swiss Guard, right. I guess, or like, you know what I mean? They switch, yeah. So peaceful. I don't know why more people don't do this, because the more chaotic your surroundings, the more you can't hear anything.
You can't think.
And I get a lot of people saying, I can't hear my guides. Do this and you will.
Get out in the nature where it's quiet.
It's not even nature. It's just tone it down.
Yeah.
Like, stop going into areas where there's loud stuff going on.
It's a good place because you're grounding yourself too among nature, I think.
And get yourself a journal. Start writing to Jesus. Tell him, that you want to be in the light, that you need help with your armor, protecting yourself. Like, you have to. That's why I brought the journals out tonight, because I thought we could connect. Well, I don't know who you want to write to, but I'm writing to him. But plus, we have to work on how we want our houses to look like in the new world. So
we already went down that road. We already know.
I told him I want a beach house, lots of water.
I already know.
Lots of fishies. I want some dolphins in my area. That's my wish list. If we're going to the new world, might as well make it comfortable.
I already have my wish list, remember? We went over this.
I know. I'm excited for it to happen, but I'm also really super nervous because I don't think I'm coming to it right away. I think I'll be asked to stay to help with the huge... I mean, it's worse than what the movies can ever portray. There's no safe place.
You would be just like a...
Do you know that...
on the move constantly.
Did you see that movie where they had to be real quiet because if they made any noise, the monster would grab them? I don't know, whatever monster was taking them. And there was one with Sandra Bullock where you couldn't look at them. You had to keep your eyes closed. I don't think... Actually, yeah, Maria's correcting me. It's like both aspects. It's almost like they're trying to get humans ready because if you close your eyes, you won't see the demonic energy. It won't, mess up your reaction because they're gonna feed right off your reaction. Because I mean, look at the children; they're feeding off their fear. The second you see them, they're gonna know what they are because immediately you're gonna feel fear, and they feed off of it like it's candy.
So
there's no way around it. So you almost have to blind yourself, and you have to keep quiet because anywhere you go, if anything unsettling, demonic-wise, or dark, because after the rapture, you're still stuck here, you're going to have to go into a severe survival mode. Because one little noise, you don't know what's coming out after you. So both movies are correct, if you think about it. And it's almost like they're getting people prepared. Like Spirit's getting them prepared. Like, you're going to have to try this. Like, it's almost like they're getting them prepared to fit. Like, yeah, we're leaving you behind, but you might have a chance to come across.
What was the first movie again?
I don't know the names of them. Me and Justin watched them, but the one was like you couldn't make any noise because the second you made one little noise, that monster got you. Like, it knew exactly where you were at. It was a really cool movie, but really disturbing movie, but it was very interesting. And then the other one was you couldn't see. You had to keep yourself blind.
I watched that one the other day.
Yeah. You had to keep
that
yourself
was
blind.
Very unnerving.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. You're not going to like die or turn to stone or anything, but they're going to know that you know what they are. Because the second you see them, unless you have your emotions under control and you're just like, whatever, you are what you are, they're going to feed off that fear because that's what they've been doing with the kids. They're going to immediately know that you know that they know what they are.
So you have to be on your A game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been pulled to doing like karate, getting back to archery, shooting my gun, like practicing all that stuff, which makes me think that I'm going to be asked to stay and assist the ones that are starting to come awake, because after they start seeing everybody leaving, it's going to hit them like, oh my God, these conspiracy theorists were right the whole time. Like, how did I not listen to this? Like, it made sense. It's almost like they're in dum-dum mode and they just cannot wake up. They cannot snap out of it. They just can't.
But they wake up a little too late.
You know, I was a little disturbed by something.
What?
Somebody tagged me in a post the other day. And I guess whoever this female or male, I can't remember if it was female or male, said they were having dreams or visions. I think it was visions of these fireballs. And somebody tagged them and said, you might want to talk to Christina. She's been having the same visions. Their response was, I do not seek out mediums, for they will misguide you. Okay, well, who do you think is showing you the fireballs?
Right.
It's the same for me. How do you think that you're on your high horse and you're suddenly special and I'm just a piece of crap over here doing some devil work?
It's the same
thing. Who do you think's showing it to you? I was just, and I couldn't respond because I was going to start throwing Bible verses because I knew that's where that was coming from. Because if you're going to read the Bible, you might want to read the whole thing and don't just nitpick what you think is legit. So,
what suits you at the time.
Right. So I was going to throw her some Bible verses, like the one about Jesus calling forth Moses and Elijah, which both have been dead between 15 to 1,000, before Christ.
Oh, way before.
That's medium. You're calling forth spirit to get some guidance. That's what he was doing. He went on the mountain, went into his little tent with three of his apostles, told his apostles not to say anything. His apostles obviously were drama queens, and they told everybody. Ended up in the Bible, but anyway, so which they were. I mean, they loved to tell stories about Jesus, even if they said don't say anything. It ended up somehow in the Bible, but that's a medium. And then I get the backlash all the time. Well, he's God; he can do whatever he wants. Okay, well, if that's the fact, he told us. He told all of us, the apostles. He told everyone, go out and do as I did. How are you quoting scripture to me? You don't even know who he is. This is what I'm talking about. He's gonna turn to them and say, you did not know me. I will turn my face from you because you did not know me. Because they're not studying anything. They're not reading exactly. They're just picking what the priests are telling them or what their preachers telling them. When really they need to like dive deep and read into that.
It's a lightning bug.
Hello, Papa. I thought it was a beetle. But anyway. But yeah, they're just nitpicking, and they don't really know him. I mean, what do you think he was doing on the mount? His soul's in distress, and that's what I've been going through these last, I don't know, when did I go to the funeral home or the mausoleum? Is it about 2 weeks ago?
About 2 weeks ago.
My soul's been in turmoil that whole time, and I've been in a communicational dialogue since those 2 weeks, trying to find guidance and help. What do you think? God's just throwing you here with nothing? Who does she think she's getting the visions from? God's helping her. He's making her see. Like he's sending communication. When they tell me, oh, I don't seek out a medium, okay, then that's telling me that you're limiting God and saying that he has no possibilities whatsoever to give somebody a gift. I mean, what did you think Elijah was? What did you think John the Baptist was? They were all prophets. They were all mediums. They were talking spirit. Where do you think they were getting their knowledge from?
It's the same
like out
thing.
their butthole? I mean, it's so aggravating because it's like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to read the scripture, read the whole thing. I mean, really study it, because he's going to look at you and say, you did not know me. And he's going to turn his face from you.
Because they didn't do their own homework.
Research and they're just listening to somebody else teach them. When who's to say that person isn't right? I mean, I even tell people, don't even listen to me. When I say something, go research it. A lot of the times though, what I teach isn't in Google or anything, but excuse me.
No, it's not on
like
Google.
I'm the first one that I'm the only one that had the knowledge of the A word at the end of the prayer. I knew that was a demon because I deal with demons. I know exactly who they are by name and what they do and why they do it. And for me to give that information out was for me to, kind of provide information to somebody and say, try to switch your prayers around, because you're basically giving that prayer to a demon without even knowing it. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing 2 people actually out of the woodwork take what I've been teaching and claiming it as their own. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, if you're going to do that, at least draw the energy back to the original source. So if somebody has a question, well, why? What kind of demon is that? What do they do? What do they do with the prayer? They can't answer that.
They can't
because
answer
they didn't originally get that information.
Because they want to take it on as their own and make themselves look good. It's all about making them look good.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to go wrong with the rapture. You really have got to get with your soul. You have got to get with your soul. Because by doing that, you're misguiding somebody. Because what if they have a ton of questions? You can't answer them. What are you going to pop off some answers you don't know?
What, because you want to make yourself feel good or look good?
Yeah, that's what I get a lot from that. Yeah. But yeah, it's frustrating because, I could have simply had a very loving conversation with that lady about her visions and kind of compare notes and, just say, I don't know, maybe you should start journaling, talk to God more, or maybe he'll show you more and, open this dialogue. But because her priest said no mediums, she just put a wall up and there's no love there. I mean,
no.
What would God do? People are not getting that. Like, is God, if what God made me and to put a wall up so he can't talk to me?
Let's listen to the priest. He knows. He's above.
It's so frustrating. It really is frustrating because I could have had a loving dialogue with that person and had this open conversation where faith was involved. But because she went off what somebody else said, she just put a wall up, and there's no loving flow. And when we get to heaven, I'm going to look at her and go, I don't know what to tell you. I tried.
Your choice.
So, and this is another thing. Like, when people don't listen, God talks through people. So by somebody tagging me in that post, God's saying, go talk to her because I'm showing her what I'm showing you.
Right.
It's so frustrating. Oh, I just can't. It closes off dialogue when you could have a very loving conversation with somebody. It really does.
They don't think of it that way, though.
No. And I know I get a lot of requests of people wanting like one-on-ones with me, but I don't think a lot of people realize what I go through in a day, what I have to get done in a day, because I'm in dialogue with Jesus or I'm in dialogue with Maria. I have to get stuff done per their schedule. And I think a lot of people think that I'm just snubbing them or the team deals with them, and that's not the fact
You're
at all.
You're not snubbing them.
Because I do deal with certain people, you know what I mean? Like, if I get pulled to talk to somebody, I'll talk to them. But
right.
if I feel this like grab, and Maria's like, no, you need to direct her. We'll take care of that. We'll take care of that person. Just listen to us. I can't.
Right.
I can't. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta listen to what they tell you.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's been a lot in the last 2 weeks.
And everything they basically want to know anyway, they can go on and watch
the YouTubes.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of information there.
There's a lot of information there that will keep you going for a while watching that.
I keep seeing people running, and I think that a lot of the fireballs that come in, like, create this like uproar of water. Like, and I see like, I see like a lot of land that used to be surfaced is now underwater and can't be resalvaged. Like, it's almost like the water shifts and the tectonic plates shift underneath.
So what was once earth is now
covered
in water. It's gone. It's permanently underwater now.
Yeah, I see it. And there's this one girl in particular. She's got wavy, I would like say strawberry blonde hair, and she's got a white shirt on. I can't see below her, but she keeps running and looking behind her, but I can't see what's behind her. But the fear in her, I can sense that it's something big, and it almost makes me feel like water, because as soon as I see her, then I start like kind of coming out, almost like I got wings and I'm flying up and I'm looking and watching everybody, and all of a sudden it goes from her to like a big crowd, and they're all looking behind them and running. So that to me kind of shows me like because this is after the fireballs. It's almost like water, and then I switch and I'm inside what looks like an apartment or a hotel room maybe, and there's a dark-skinned woman, maybe I would say maybe Arabian or like maybe Indian, maybe no I wouldn't say Indian, but she almost has like a French accent, almost like maybe she was in one portion of a country and then moved to France. And she's talking like this language, and I can't really make out what she's saying. And then two men come up, and I'm guessing it's like a husband or a son, or maybe it's her brothers. I would say she's roughly in her mid-30s, maybe early 40s. And she's like, da, 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 da. And like they come to the window, and then I look out the window, and there's water just like coming at them, and it's hitting the building. And she's like, almost like, I don't know what to do. And then that shuts down, and then I get taken to another place. Like it's been like this for 2 weeks. Like I think I'm seeing people's reaction to what's going on. Like I'm jumping around and seeing
what's happening in different areas. Yeah.
Like I'm shaking right now because I don't like seeing this stuff, because it makes me panicky. Because it's almost like the soul's stuck in the body and it can't do anything. And I don't like that feeling.
Do you think whenever we were going down to Florida that year, and you kept seeing the tsunamis. Remember, we kept feeling that. Do you think that's what you were feeling?
It was so unsettling. I couldn't even be in Daytona. Was it Daytona we were at? Or Myrtle Beach?
That was Myrtle Beach.
Okay, Myrtle Beach. I was so unsettled. I mean, you even said you felt it when we were in the elevator going to that one hotel room.
And for me to feel it speaks volumes.
And when she said they were booked, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't settle down to even lay in a bed right now.
You were already...
Yeah. I think I was already feeling the rapture coming in that area, and I think that's probably going to be one of the first areas that gets hit. And then, what did I just say the other day? What did I say about Italy? Was it Italy?
Italy. You said you heard screaming.
I was coming up the steps in the shop, and all of a sudden
we were in the car.
Oh, we were in the car?
Yeah, we were in the car.
Well, what vision did I get coming up the steps yesterday?
You didn't tell me about that.
Oh, maybe I didn't tell you. Okay.
No.
See, I don't remember the car. Wait, what did I say? What? I don't remember the car. I just remember...
You said, does Italy have water all around it? Because all you can hear is screaming. Can't remember what else you said. And was it fire?
Yeah,
you saw a lot of fire and people screaming. And then you asked if there was water around Italy. Is there any water around Italy? And then I showed you a picture of it. And yeah, it's the whole way around it. Like the bottom and the two sides, but then the top half goes into land. You said all you saw was fire and people screaming. But you didn't say anything to me about the vision yesterday.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, because I remember going up the steps, not by the fireplace, but coming up behind the fireplace.
Okay.
I think I was about to hit the fourth step up, and I wasn't in the shop anymore. I just had a vision. Then by the time the vision was done, I was up at the top of the step, coming to your desk.
Yeah, you didn't tell me. I wish you had told me then. I would have.
I think it just happened. So I think you might have been on the phone, and that's why maybe I just forgot after it.
Yeah.
I've been having so many. It's becoming second. Except they make me sick, like, because I'm looping out of this realm into those ones, and then looping back in, and it makes me physically like shake and sick. Like I want to, like right now I feel like vomiting, but excuse me. Like it's my stomach. My stomach's just so upset. It's very unsettling, because I had seen a vision of a healthy world transforming from third dimension to fifth dimension, and now I'm seeing a shift. And I was told and shown before I came here, it was the third dimension will slip into the fifth dimension. Like they will just, and I get it now. That's why they kept saying slip, because if the blue lights come, you're just going to slip from here to there. And something big is supposed to happen to make that energy shift.
Which would be
in December. This coming December, there's a shift that happens. It makes it easier on the awakened, because it's getting very ugly. It's almost like the demonic energies, the dark energies, are taking over people more and more. Like it's almost like you can. I mean, it's blatant in your face. Like, I'm sorry, but if you see people yelling at old people with walkers, that's not a person with a heart. That's demonic energy.
So it's getting actually harder for the awakened ones too to be here.
Yeah, very, very much. Yeah. That's why he's coming to rapture them. He's like, okay, the energies are getting real bad here. The dark ones are having more, how do I want to say this, more capacity to do more with what they do. And it's time for you guys to go. Like, we have to get you guys out of here. So it's like a black ops mission.
Right.
That's how I see it. The angels come, they put you in the tubes, and you go up into a new place that's very similar to Earth, but a lot better. I wish that I could wake up people. Like, I'm seeing more and more of them coming towards me where they're not awakened. And half the time I just want to shake them, and I'm like, listen, he's coming. He's coming soon. Like, you need to snap out of it. Like, these are not conspiracy theories. This is legit real. You've got to start listening to yourself. He's showing you visions for a reason. Start paying attention, start listening. Like, they're not listening.
And if they don't,
and they think that they have it all figured out. Know it all.
Yeah, they know everything. That's the problem with people today. They think they know everything. Mm-hmm. They have it figured out and know everything, but they don't.
No. Like
I knew how little they
I
do
go back
know.
to that lady. Like, she thought she knew me. Like, she didn't even get a chance. Like, she didn't even like step forward and say, you know what, I'm a Christian woman. God told me to love. Yeah, she's a medium, but maybe if we talk and share dialogue, maybe I can learn something about her.
Right.
Not learn something from her,
She
but
had
learn
you
something
judged without knowing
immediately. I'll take out a demon. But if I have a human in front of me, the gun's going down. If they shoot me, they shoot me. I'm not dealing with that karma.
Even after all that,
I still won't. No.
I mean, things would have changed. Like, the whole dynamic would have changed.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
I'm saying.
I still couldn't.
Even in a completely different dynamic.
I mean, I'll take out a leg, but I won't take out a life. What? Leg's different. I've been having some really amazing conversations with him. Stop laughing at me.
I know, no, just trying to make light of it.
Oh yeah, it's great. Seriously, I've been having like these just, I don't know, amazing conversations. I know that was him in my car. Do you remember me telling you about the day that I went and did a group reading? And I think I left there at like 1 in the morning. And I was heading home. It was like a 2-hour drive. I think it was Phillipsburg or somewhere. I was in my car. I was driving. This is when I did readings by myself. And it was almost like tension of like love and romance. Like that ultimate love and romance that everybody just wants to have in their life. And I felt him behind me, and I wasn't registering it was Jesus at first. I was like registering, okay, I know this person. I almost felt like I was cheating on trust. All these feelings started coming to the surface. I'm like, oh my God, tone it down. What's wrong with you? You're in a relationship. Because I don't cheat. Like, I was so, like, after it happened and I was still in my car, I was just like, oh my, I felt so much guilt. Like, I can't even look at him after this. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I felt so much guilt, even though it was just spirit and it didn't actually, like, nothing happens.
Right.
But it was like all these feelings kept coming to the, like, were surfacing and like bubbling over me. And he put his hand, I think it was on my right shoulder. I can't, the memories are starting to like fade a little bit, but I do remember him being behind me, touching my shoulder. And he had said, don't forget me. Don't forget why you're here. What else? Don't forget us. Remember who you are. And it just kind of went on and on. Like, and I got, without him even saying anything, I got the sense of like wherever he was at, he had just died and he was crossing over to heaven. And he was kind of like visiting me before he did that. It was almost like that first initial crossing where they can visit anybody. Well, he decided to come to me. And it was like this unconditional love that a lot of people on this earth are always seeking and they can't find it. And that's when I came up with the concept of, I think everybody has that little teeny hole in their body or wherever in their body or their soul. And it's like a little gaping hole that they keep trying to fill, when the whole time all they have to do is have a relationship with him. Like, I go back to like Christians always saying you have to have a relationship with Jesus, and I always thought, I was like, oh, just stop. Like, I feel like it kept like being pushed onto people. But I think if you took it in a different term, it'd be more understanding. You have to kind of think of it as, and I'm not trying to be like gross or morbid or anything, but you kind of have to think of it as like, let's say you're in a relationship with him and he's your boyfriend or your husband or something. How would you treat him? Like, if you woke up in the morning and, okay, you're married. Let's separate your actual physical marriage. Let's separate the actual physical marriage from the spiritual one. Okay, so you wake up, your husband's off of work. You say good morning to your other husband, your spiritual husband, which is Jesus. So you wake up and you're like, good morning, I love you. And like acknowledge him as an actual person in your life. And then you start doing that throughout the day where you're just like, okay, somebody got in your face and they're yelling at you and you you sit down and nobody's around you right now. You're just sitting in your office. You just turn to him and you imagine him sitting in the office with you, and you're like, I can't believe that just happened. Why would that happen? Why was she so mean to me? And then you listen for the answer. He will talk back. You just have to pay attention. So it's starting this like dialogue, and this is how I tell people to kind of talk to their loved ones, because they didn't leave. You just aren't making a part of yourself for them to listen to. Do you know what I mean? That gaping hole. So like if you do this every day as if it's an actual person you're like hanging out with all day long, that hole starts to become smaller and smaller and smaller and filled. It fills up. And I think this is the concept they should have been saying the whole time, because I think when they say you have to have a relationship with Jesus, I think a lot of people shy away from that because they don't get what they're saying. They're just saying a sentence when they're really not explaining what does that entail.
What's a relationship mean?
Right. What do you mean by that?
Define
Like, what do I
relationship.
do? How do I get there? And that's what I'm trying to show people, because if you want to get raptured, you want to go to the new world, you have to do this. Like, you're going to have to fill that gaping hole, not with cars, not with money, not with your family, your kids, or your husband. It's him. He left that spot in there just for him. And you're not letting him kind of decorate it, put a bed in there, have a coffee maker in there. Like, this is his little sacred space. You don't let him have his little crystals in there. He doesn't get to have his black tourmaline in all four corners of his room. You have to think of it that way. Like, he's living in a little room in your soul. And he wakes up when you do. He eats when you do. He talks when you do. Like, you do everything together. You see? You kind of get it now?
I get what you're saying.
Because if you make it like it's an actual real relationship in your life, it'll become like second nature, and you will know him, and he won't turn his face from you. Do you get it?
I get it.
Every night I grab my hand out like this, and I wait, because my hand always gets really heavy. As soon as he grabs it, it gets heavy and then like tingly, and I'm like, ooh, I know that's you. I feel you. Hello, lover. He knows my humor.
I know.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, come on now.
Who doesn't?
Come on now. It's me. Yeah, so I think this is what they meant by that. I think when Christians or Catholics or anything like this, when they push a concept onto somebody, well, you have to be reborn. Okay, well, what does that mean exactly? What are you talking about? Like lay it out for me in a story so I can actually apply it to my life. You know what I mean? And reborn to me is a concept of being awakened, because being reborn is awakening. You're no longer sleeping. You've become awake, like a baby coming out of a womb. It's been sleeping. It eats in there and do all this stuff in there. Then it comes out into the world and reality check. You're no longer in a safety bubble. Okay, you're getting born. So when you get born, like they say, I think it's you become awakened, and your reality just became real. Like, you just got a reality check. You just came awoken. And I think a lot of these people that are like, oh, I was reborn. No, honey, you were not, because I will tell you what reborn means.
Not even remotely close.
No, you may think you did, but you did not. Okay, you are just putting on a facade for everybody to see. Right. You got to go deeper. I'm talking like, I know, I hear it too. You have to go deeper. You have to go deeper. You've got to get with your soul. You have to get with yourself. You can't put on facades anymore. You can't pretend anymore. You have got to like get with yourself. Who are you aside from pretending to be something for everybody else? Who are you? Like, what makes you you? And that's what Jesus sees, and that's what Jesus wants you to be with him, with everybody.
Not wanting to be somebody else.
Right.
You being you.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I don't think a lot of people face that. I don't think they look at themselves and say, well, like, Maria's trying to help me with the concept of, like, you know, Jesus always used analogies or rhyming, or not rhyming so much, but like stories to get his point across. And he taught me how to do the same thing. And that's the only way I can get my point across as to what I'm trying to teach. But think of it, I guess. She's trying to give me an example. Okay, so like, let's say you never fished before and you don't really like sports. So you start dating somebody who loves fishing, loves sports. Okay, granted, you might start liking fishing. You're like, oh, this isn't bad. I like this. This is new. That's getting to know something about yourself. Okay, that's an adventure. That's somebody introducing you to something. But you really don't like sports. But you put on this facade as, oh, go team, because if you don't, the guy you're with might not like you too much if you don't like sports. And so you put on this facade. You can't be that person. You cannot let somebody dim your light. Spiritual application. It's the interview application time, 3 to 6 months. I did do that work. Yes, I did. I did a really good job of it. And then 6 months later, yeah, you know what? I kind of fudged that a little bit so I could get into this job here because it has good money. It's got good looks. It's got a sexy body. That's why I did that. I fudged the application a bit. So this is what she means. It's getting with yourself, and it's getting the facade aside. And because if you can't be yourself, then you can't be yourself with Jesus either. Because you're putting a facade on for everyone then, even yourself. And eventually you're going to look in the mirror and go, who am I? Yeah, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this on live at all. This has just been so unsettling for me because I was a part of a certain timeline, and that has now shifted, and which means I have to shift all my energy to this new teaching.
Just a whole different avenue.
Yeah. It's just a whole new, and they keep talking to me about ministry and doing ministry, but I'm not into the religious thing, but if this comes any close to being like a ministry for our people.
What you're doing now is like a ministry. It's your own version of it.
This is true, but I wanted to kind of dive into the Bible and try to teach and explain things through that way more. Who do you want to talk to?
Oh, it's not me.
We'll pick a race.
I don't know who the hell's here.
Well, you've got the Arcturus.
Don't know them.
You have those small grays. Flecka. They're here. Flecka.
See, I don't know.
They're like they're in like the D section of like space. They're not even Earth's solar area.
So they're not here?
No. Like, I have to use a word for the race because they do clicking sounds, so I'm just...
Is that the one that was in the car with us?
Probably. I don't know. I don't have those notes. You have those notes. Wouldn't they have written down who they were?
Yeah,
so I wasn't here for that.
It was the grays.
Okay. Yeah, they do clicking and snapping sounds and stuff. Yeah, they don't really... And they're telepathic. So if you're not telepathic, they don't know how to communicate with you. Well, sometimes, they somehow get past that veil. Like, let's say, for example, they're standing in your living room and you're not telepathic, obviously, but all of a sudden you hear a voice in your head that says, don't get scared, or don't be scared.
Okay.
I didn't mean for you to see me.
Right.
I'm just passing through.
Right.
That's them telepathically giving you message. And some might hear them, and some might be like, oh my god, what the hell's in my living room, and they just start running and screaming. So it just depends if they can get through the veil and you can hear them.
Okay, who else is here? Is that all?
No, there's a lot of races here. I mean, it's kind of like pick your poison. Like, which one you want to...
Well, maybe, see, it's not who I choose because I don't know them, so maybe let them choose.
Well, you know who's been kind of with me, and they're up here too, is the, no, never mind. We're not going to talk to them. They stepped down. They don't want to. I'm just listening to see which ones.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to Centuries?
That'd be fine.
They're like a bold alien race. They're very bold in their way of talking. Like,
Matter of fact, like.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Maria kind of, and it's not to be rude at them, but they kind of remind me of like meatheads at the gym. Those kind of people. Meatheads at the gym. They're just big. You know, they kind of remind me of Troy. Like the soldiers of Troy.
Okay, gotcha.
They kind of remind me of them.
Okay, well, yeah, if they're willing to talk.
Well, you have to give me questions because I don't know.
Oh, questions. Here we go.
Come on, give me questions. You're always full of questions.
I know.
Come on now. You've got 5 of them here, so.
Oh boy. Can I ask one? Is that a stupid question?
No, they can hear you. Don't have to whisper. 14 months. So wait, how long is that? That's a year and 2 months?
14 months. Oh, wow. Oh. Do they like it here?
Okay, one said no. And then the other one said, the one to the right of him said, some places. And the other 3 are not talking. They have no answer for you. I'm guessing it's not good. But the one that's like mainly speaking, he's said that they're here for the shift. They've arrived a little later than most.
Oh, okay.
So, because of how far they come from. So.
Right. I don't know what to ask them. I really don't.
The one said there's some races here they don't get along with, so they've kept themselves over to the left of your field, like closer to the forest area. So they're isolating themselves from certain races.
Do they see the
it's not like a fighting war. It's more of like they don't agree on stuff. Like it'd be like Trump supporters and non-Trump supporters. You know what I mean? They don't agree on certain things.
They kind of just
they can be like earthlings. Like he's saying earthlings, they fight and they cause all these like horrible unloving issues between each other over simple stuff where you could just be like, okay, well, you have your opinion, I have mine, and just leave it at that. And that's kind of what he's at. Like we don't see eye to eye, but we're not uncivil to each other. Yeah. That's kind of what he meant.
Does any of do the children know that they're here?
No.
The children don't know they're here.
That's what I was hearing the other day. Did you hear that? It's just distant screaming. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
They're showing it to us again. See? They're showing it to me, the Centurions. They're showing me what the sound would sound like. Because that would be considered technically the city, because out here you wouldn't hear it as much.
Right.
It would be happening out that way, and that's what it would sound like. It's scary, right?
Yeah.
It like puts a chill up
it's
your spine.
It's very unnerving.
It's just this loud screaming off in the distance, and you're like, what's going on? It's very unsettling. Like that day in the mausoleum, I could not stop crying because I couldn't get this unsettling. Oh, I just saw one go across one of the grays. I just saw his head bobbing.
Well, tell him to come visit.
No, because the Centurions are here with us, so he's walking off.
Oh, jeez.
I couldn't get myself to settle. I was shaking. I just remember that old guy that came in and see me. Do you remember me telling you about the old guy? What the heck was his name? Mike? Jim? I think it was Mike or Jim. I forgot his name already. And he was tapping the tile to the where his wife, I guess, was. And he's like talking to her, and then I could feel him coming towards me. Like I sensed his energy coming closer and closer, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna ask me something. And I'm gonna have to pop my head up. So I was trying to hide my head with the Bible. And he goes, you gonna be okay? And I'm like, no. I started bawling again. I just started crying. And he goes, I know, it's so hard, isn't it? And he had no idea. He thought I was there for a person, and I was there to get away. You know what I mean?
Usually most normal people, when you go there, it's because someone...
So he's telling me his whole story. It was so sad because he said, there's this country, he's just like rattling on. He's like, there's this country song about a man's wife leaving him, and he comes home from a hard day's work, and he comes into the door, and there's nobody there to greet him with love. He goes, that's how I feel when I walk into this place. I can't hear her. I don't feel any love from her. He goes, that's how I feel when I walk in this place. She's left me and I don't hear her. I go, she hears you. Trust me, she's there. Like, I'm trying to reassure him, and I'm like, I don't know if you believe in, God's gift to people that allow communication for loved ones. And he goes, I don't know how I feel about that. I go, well, just trust me. God wouldn't rip your wife from you and not allow her to be around you and help you through it. And he goes, oh, that's really nice. I like that thought. I don't think he was really getting the concept.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't sinking in.
No,
he wasn't grasping.
I was trying my best.
Yeah, the best you could.
Yeah.
So
he's going to be leaving soon. He'll be getting with her soon.
Oh, that's good.
I saw that they were going to be reunited.
Oh. He'll be happier then.
I mean, he doesn't look sick or anything, but I think it's something with sleep, like almost like he's going to leave in his sleep.
He'll just pass away in his sleep.
Yeah. He still has a daughter left. I guess it's her daughter, his stepdaughter. But anyway.
Aw.
But yeah, I just was very unsettled the first day it happened. I was very unsettled. And I couldn't believe that the shift of the timeline was happening. It almost was like it's the Greys. They're just walking around over there. It was very unsettling.
So they're all here. They all have a job to do? Is that why they're all here? They're
I
all here
wouldn't
because
say
they have a job?
well, yeah, I guess they're helping with the frequency for the awakened ones, because how are the blue lights going to show up? There has to be a frequency hit, a high, for it to happen.
So that's why they're here for the shift, because they're here for the...
Jeez.
They all have like a purpose?
Yeah, and then some of them are just here to just be here. Because it's like a planet going through a huge shift. Like, it's, you only see it every so many millennia, 1,000, million, billion years, I guess. I mean, they were here for when Moses and the flood happened, so they got to see that.
That's who was in the car with us. It was the Greys.
The gray one.
Yeah. That's who that was. I have those notes, but you wouldn't look at them. You never wanted to look at them.
Yeah, I don't like... I know the translation and the channeling is loving. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just not meant to know what they say. I don't know.
Right.
Something just in me is just like, yeah, I'm good. The message was for you.
You don't have any questions?
No, I know them, so I don't really have questions. I know all of them.
I'll sit home tonight. I'll go home alone.
Well, they know Katie very well because she's Centurion.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It came out in her Akashic, remember?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Brain fry, gone.
Yeah.
Ooh, I thought I just saw something there.
Yeah, that's them. There's 5 of them. They're just
really? So Katie was one of them?
Yeah. At one point. Yeah, there's one all the way down there. He's kind of doing, I don't know if he's observing something.
So do they have, okay, yeah. So do they have certain jobs? Does each one have a certain job to do?
Yes, but the two have similar jobs. Like, it's almost like working in the same place.
Well, how do they function as a race? Like, how do they?
They're very technical, bold people.
Like Katie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they are. Very organized. They don't like chaos.
Oh my God! I just saw it again.
Yeah, that's them.
Yes, that's Katie. I thought she always got it for me, but I'm not Centurion, so I don't. But yeah.
What else can I say? They're kind of like matter-of-fact kind of people.
Right.
They're very protective. They do like to experiment. They a little bit remind me of Mars. Martians destroyed themselves. That's why that planet is like desolate now. They like ruined everything that they had. Now there is still Martians. Some survived. And they're mostly men. You won't see women. on that planet. It's mostly men. But they messed around with technology.
Too much.
And that's what's kind of happening here. You got
Yes.
They're agreeing with me. That's kind of what's happening here. You've got a lot of technology that's ruining people. It might be almost what you're talking about, how they're trying to get rid of the old people.
Yes.
Because they know the tower radiation is going to hit older people than it is with children. So if you get the adults out of the way, then you have the children left to control.
Exactly.
And take what you want from them, because they have no say. And then as they grow older, they get ruined.
Right.
So it's like this cycle. But you're also going to have huge amount of defects in births, because you have this radiation being pushed out in towers. Like they could care less what they're doing.
They don't care about that.
No.
So do they have male, female, or is it just all one?
Centurions,
yeah.
There's more male than there is female, but they cherish their women, is what I'm gathering.
And what was Katie there? Male, probably male.
No, she was a male.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah,
I knew it.
She was a male.
Yeah.
The females are bold. They kind of remind me of Vikings, like Viking women.
Oh.
Like that
Oh,
beefy, bold.
Yeah.
But they're smaller in stature than they are of the men.
Right.
And the men cherish the women because they provide a great amount of service to the society.
Oh wow.
Like the women do here, but they aren't cherished for it here.
So you can
it's so backwards.
You can come and go from them to us.
What do you mean? Like through soul?
Like Kate, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Kate used to be them, but now she's here.
Everybody's been somewhere.
Oh, okay. So
before they've come here. Yeah, and that's what comes out in the Akashic. I'm able to tell you the two main areas that your soul originated in your soul group that follows you, who they are around you. So you'll find that, like with Katie, she might have a lot of Centurions around her, which would make sense because I can see a lot of Centurions going into military because of their bold and their stature and their matter-of-fact attitude. Yeah.
Right. That's pretty neat.
I can feel the shift happening every day. Like sometimes it feels okay, and then it hits me like a thunderbolt in the morning.
That's why we gotta keep busy and just.
And I've been like trying to ignore it, and I can't do that. That's why they keep having me come and kind of talk it out up here, because the energy's so high here. I'm able to just get every thought out.
And they help.
Yeah. He's mainly talking about getting the mind right and to stop listening to outside dark forces that's going to sway you into an anxiety, panic, fear attack, because that's not what God has always taught. God
when it happens?
Just even now. I mean, they're trying to control the masses.
With the media.
And everybody's just kind of drinking the Kool-Aid and going along with it. And he's like, no, why would you continue to do that? Why would you not stand up? Basically did you hear him?
No.
Just yell? Okay, because he's getting fired up. Like I can sense him getting fired. I just felt his energy just like rush at me. That's why I moved towards you.
That's what we want.
But he basically said there's something, like he just yelled. He goes, there should be something inside of you that tells you it's wrong. Like that's, you know what I mean? That, like when you walk in and you see a thing on the glass that says masks mandatory, just something in you fires up and says, this is stupid.
Well, yeah,
because
it
is. Because you know deep down there's something more going on.
He's like Katie. Katie's just like on a rampage lately with all
that's how he's becoming. He's very fired up right now.
And that's how she is. Like she's like over this crap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like almost like, let's be done with this.
Right.
This is enough.
Oh, I totally agree.
Stop trying to bring this energy back to the surface, because we all know what you're really truly doing.
Right.
And people just keep, and what he's getting fired up about is, how does your race not sense they're being controlled and they're drinking the Kool-Aid? Basically, I'm putting words into his mouth, but he didn't say drink the Kool-Aid, but you know what I'm saying. But this is what he's saying. He goes, we would never let something like this in our race happen.
Because I think it was such a slow, methodical thing.
No, It actually
You
wasn't.
don't
It was
think?
very abrupt. If you think about it, it was very abrupt.
You mean the
Happened-
quarantine stuff?
The sick, the quarantine, everything.
No,
it just
I
happened
mean
within
the
2
mental
months.
thing. I think mentally. People,
Mentally, they're slowly working it in
yes.
because they're
That's
trying to
what I
they're
mean.
trying to quarantine again when they
Yes.
know exactly what they're doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They know exactly what they're doing to humanity.